Hey, podcast listeners, did you know we have a YouTube channel called Anime Lately? We do some entertaining and ridiculous things for anime, mangas, and movie reactions and reviews videos. What do you mean, you ask? Just check out our thumbnails. If you like to laugh and enjoy listening to our anime and manga theories and discussions, watch the Anime Lately channel. And we have a lot of videos, and we were never short of any anime and manga related content on all our YouTube channels. On our next Dragon Ball Z. So sorry, guys. I mean, Rayapollo.tv stream. My mistakes, ladies and gentlemen, but your boy, Rayapollo, is a fantastic internet male entertainer, a good one, in fact, that he can remind you about the good old days. Saturday morning, waking up early in the morning with your bowl of cereal, being in front of your TV and watching Dragon Ball Z. Check out Rayapollo at rayapollo.tv. This month, Rayapollo is playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So watch or lurk into his Twitch channel for the most good-looking Twitch streamer on Twitch. Just saying. If you need more movie reviews to listen to during your commutes, listen to the Careful for Spoilers podcast network. They will steal your time with interesting movie content. Speaking of stealing, Careful for Spoilers have a new episode of Best One, Worst One of heist movies. Check them out on all your local podcast networks on iTunes, Spotify, Stitchers, iHeartRadio, and more. And now, back to our podcast. Welcome, Anime Lately podcast listeners and YouTube podcast watchers, to another episode of the Anime Lately podcast. I'm your host, Sam the Manga Man, and here with me are my Brotakus. Introducing first, the Game Master, the legendary Super Saiyan. He is not Broly, but he is someone even more legendary. He is someone that you shall not be named. He is the director of anime. He is not Legend Vash though, but he is the director of anime. Mr. King of Games himself, Ray Apollo. Next up, we have got the Lay Demon in the Black Clover community. He has a great love for Trigon, Dr. Stone, and One Piece. The intellectual, sensational legend Vash, Miguel Parra. And finally, our last co-host. He is the CEO of the Careful Spoilers Podcast Network, the founder of the No Anime, No Life Facebook group. He is a connoisseur and a passionate man for movies. The great and talented JB, James Barnes. How y'all doing?
I'm
Great.
doing great.
Glad to be here every week with you guys. It's good in time. So hopefully one day Sam passes out like he's going Super Saiyan, because every time he's about to just scream his R sounds, I feel like he's about to pass out like with the Dead Silent Boys.
Please
And
don't pass out.
that is true. Please don't. If you're gonna pass out after the show, but not during the show.
All right, I guess I gotta highlight my hair blonde now just to get the whole Super Saiyan look. And that's
you
all
want,
for you,
if-
YouTube
if
YouTube
you-
watchers.
If you want, next time when you come over, you could just take the hat. I mean the
I think
headband thing.
I have one myself, but I mean literally dye myself my hair blonde and
You as a blonde
Like,
Asian? You as a blonde
Nope.
Asian? That'd be
it's not like
interesting.
it's not the first you'd be surprised to see.
Oh yeah, that's true. It would not be like, wait, first
seen
of
some-
you or first of Asians?
Asians,
I'm about
not
to say-
me. Asians.
I'm about to say,
Asians.
Sam, what phase of blonde did you
Oh.
ever do?
Now I know. Now I think Sam did. Okay.
I
Yup,
haven't.
exposed.
I
I'm about
have.
to- about to say, that's pretty interesting.
I actually have
You
not.
have it.
My brother
Sure.
has,
Oh, your
and
brother has.
I haven't.
So when are
like
you gonna
I'm-
follow? When are you gonna follow in his footsteps to turn blonde?
Oh no. It might not
Oh
happen.
no.
My girlfriend got skills to turn hair blonde like she did to mine. So hey, you could be the next one in the line where you go blonde.
Did you just
Uh,
hear him? Oh no.
Oh,
You're like, no, no,
no,
no.
no, 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 no.
Oh man.
I can't be Goku. Not yet. Not this time. But for sure, guys, how y'all doing? For real.
I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. You know, this is it's good to be back, and I've slayed one beast in my backlog, and now it's time for the big boy.
Is
So
that Frieza?
well, that too. We'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah, we're talking a few. Me myself, I had a good week. I the first time in the past 3 years, I didn't actually see. No, past 5 years, I didn't actually see the Super Bowl. So that's pretty interesting. I didn't see Super Bowl now one bit, but I heard this was the best one, even though that's the last 2 years was very lackluster for me. But I did
Wait,
see
2 years
the.
ago, we both watched the
I
Super
know,
Bowl.
and we were bored. Remember that
Oh
we
yeah, we
was
kind
not
of.
entertained, even
But
though we
hey, the
just ate the
food was
ribs.
good. The
Yeah, the
food was
food that we
good.
brought was good. Was good. But other than that, I did see the Shakira and J-Lo stuff, and that was really interesting.
I was wondering if somebody was gonna do it. I figured it would be you.
I, no, technically, I'm Colombian. She's Colombian. I felt like I had the most justified purpose to do it. So, like, I felt like I was the closest one to do it because I had to be waka waka for it.
Mm.
No.
Excuses, but all right. I like halftime
But
show was lit though. It's one of my favorite halftime shows in a while.
I definitely agree because the hips don't lie, though.
They do not.
They do not. I'm gonna have to give it that one. It doesn't lie.
Oh,
Um,
that is
but
very true.
this season of anime has been really interesting for me. I'm very excited to talk about some stuff that I've been watching. One that I've been watching, I'm very excited to talk about because it's one of my favorites that I've seen in a long time. So I'm very excited to be on this episode with you fine people.
Thank you, James.
Thank you. Right. All
Good
right.
to be back.
Okay, so guys, we're gonna start our usual with some manga coverage. Actually, we haven't have any anime coverage for all of us where we've watched the same anime yet, so we can't review them. But we have read some mangas that came out actually last weekend. Let's start with number one, Guardian of the Witch, Chapter One.
Well, this past weekend came out Guardian of the Witch, and I was curious because this was the assistant of the creator of Black Clover, Tabata, and I could see the art style and witch's type from referencing with Black Clover from what it is. So I could see that style, and I could see the art style is very similar with the very graphic of the evils, which I hate that name, the evils. I find that name stupidly dumb, but that's just
Yeah,
me.
they
That's
could
my
have
opinion.
been. I feel like that was lacking in
I
creativity
feel like
You
aspect at
I,
that
think
point.
I
the
just feel like
evils?
I feel like they yeah.
That was
So
lacking.
okay, like for example, James, I'll tell you the premise. It's literally the Attack on Titan premise. They're all inside a little circle. They cannot leave because there's evil demons out there, like creatures, just ugly, hideous dude. Not dudes, but
They call
ugly,
them
hideous
like
creatures. And
damnations. They're like
yeah,
abominations,
and they call them
creatures
evils.
outside of the
The
world and
term
shit
for
like that.
these creatures outside of their circle is literally called evils, and I find that name horribly dumb, and I don't like it at all.
Couldn't call them demons for obvious reasons.
They could have called it for obvious reason, but I just wish they call it like a new name or something, or like I don't know, some just weird
What's
name.
the obvious reason?
It's
Well,
assistant of Black Clover.
Yeah,
mhm.
that's why, because that's
Oh,
Black Clover, and
Mhm.
they have demons right there in the current arc right now, so I feel like that's why he didn't use that name.
Couldn't they
But
just call
or
them like monsters or just devils or
I mean, or they could have fit it in a different lore where they had a different name for monsters, but
oh, that's all different.
yeah.
And also, guys, by the way, we're gonna have a bit of spoilers, so if you haven't read the chapter, jump into the next time code for it. But I would say that MC of the boy was interesting. The girl was fascinating as well. But the names, I don't like the names. To me, the names are not great, I guess, or probably it's hard for me to pronounce, or I feel like the names don't have any weight. Like most MCs, Asta, Deku, Eren, Jaeger, like these type
they're
of
too
names have some
complicated.
weight. These
it,
are Mafasa. I'm like, I feel like I'm saying it from the Lion King.
I actually
Mafusa.
don't remember. I don't remember their names. That shows you. Like I don't
I
remember their names.
I first read it wrong. I thought it was supposed to be uh Behemoth or some other demon kind of thing for the boy.
Like Bahamut.
But yeah, like Bahamut, I was like, oh, that's interesting. But then no, it was Bethir or something like that. And I have kind of the opposite of opinion, Miguel. Like, cause I'm
Okay.
not. I mean,
Go
I
ahead.
mean, I mean, I'm
Go
not
ahead,
a
go
fan
ahead.
of this manga series, but for the characters, I'm not too into it. I felt like it was lacking in a way, mainly because there wasn't too much of a build. It was you have the witch herself, which okay, I get it, she's all powerful, but she has this the reason why she's so powerful is because she's also an evil. Well, I mean, they injected a seed of evil into her and she's mutating into like their own evil version, and we don't have the establishment of where these evil come from or where
Well, I kind of feel like that's more of the world building that we're gonna find
yeah,
in the next couple of chapters. So I feel like that's kind
I
of more
guess there
jump to the
isn't
gun.
enough world building for me in the first chapter that it should have had. And the whole agenda of from the main character himself saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna protect you. I'm gonna be a real guardian, and I'm gonna kill all these other witches." And it's like, wait, what?
He was the best written character out of the first chapter. Out of the characters we met, he was the best written one. And also something that really made me really shocking. Not really surprised at all. It just made me laugh out loud when I read through the whole chapter. Was once I saw that priest, I knew he's the bad guy. Some shit he's gonna say or do because he's wearing a church necklace or something. And it reminded me of the conversation that us, the podcast team here, said. If it's not the church, if it's not the government, it's the humans and everything, it's the aliens. And once I saw him, like, yep, he's a
Well,
bad guy. Or some shit that's gonna say, yep, kill this girl because of said reason. I'm like, yep, I saw that coming. He's a
like
bad
we
guy some way or another.
well from my head, yes, we can have that at first. We know like he knows even more darker, deeper secrets, so we can still have that in the pedestal because that's usually the typical story route. But at the moment, he was thinking about the people within his town or his village, saying like, if we don't get rid of her, she can turn into an evil and literally kill the like people within our village, and he's inside. Well, how can we
Like
stop it?
what happened to your parents? Dun dun dun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, oh boy. It was, I consider this one very generic,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately.
Agree.
No.
It's got a
Yeah, I
generic
agree with you.
purpose. The art is actually kind of generic in itself.
Agree.
Um I don't know. I was waiting for I was waiting for it to differentiate itself from everything else that we're reading, but it
Mhm.
just seemed like it seemed like an amalgamation of a lot of the stuff that we're currently reading,
Sure.
which is
Yep.
unfortunate. Um, I will say that it's, if they decide to take it in, like, because this was definitely just this was a chapter, I would consider it a chapter zero. Like
Mm-hmm.
this was chapter zero, and hopefully with them, what it seems like leaving, going out and beyond the walls, it could get more interesting. Hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
because they can learn more about the world, which,
Uh-huh.
then we get to learn more about their world from, their perspective. Which, if they just if it's done in a way that is visually stimulating about the world out there, it could be good. Because if it's just boring out there and it's just like a wasteland, useless to me. It's like,
Agree.
oh come on, like just give me something. So I'm gonna give it like at least 3 chapters, to see what they do. So
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah, agree. If I were to score it, how Rayapollo would score this, a code 5.
that's what
For
I gave
me.
it. Oh
Yeah, I give it
five.
a code 5 because
Mhm.
it wasn't great. Um, it wasn't like a wow shocker factor. And usually the first chapter of any manga should give you interested to keep on moving forward to keep reading. But I mean, I guess we'll give it a few more chapters and see if we catch more interest in the following chapters. But
Agreed.
I guess at this point they need to do more world building and see what's um happening wise, because
I
even the girl
mean,
wasn't as interesting because the witch herself is just a glutton. She has no idea about the life outside, which makes sense because she's lived a life of solitude and lives a life where she was just made as an experiment.
I don't know. Like, even like their relationship is boring. Like, I
Yeah.
was hoping their relationship would be more interesting,
Hmm.
and that's something that kind of sometimes keeps me interested in a series. It's like, if the two main characters have a decent relationship that's interesting, that you want to see more of and how it
Agree.
develops.
Agree.
But this, I didn't really feel anything from it. It's like, okay, cool. Something's gonna happen. It's one of those
Agree.
things where it's like, ah, yes, he's supposed to kill her, and now they're gonna become best friends and eventually lovers. What? Okay.
Mm, so
We'll
like
see.
typical any romance anime that usually comes into with actions in it. So
we'll see. Like I said, I'm gonna give it a few more chapters, see what they do with it. But just that first impression is so.
Yeah, that's okay. All right, let's move on to Mashle, Magic, and Muscles, Chapter 2.
So I did not read chapter 2 or the Undead Unluck chapter 3, but go
Oh,
ahead.
I'll just say with chapter 2, it continues the comedy. It continues the Saitama with mob psycho personality,
mhm,
but improve, and I really dig it. We meet the girl that's most likely gonna be by his side throughout the series, which I
mhm.
assume that. And at first, I'm like, okay, who's this boring girl that looks like to me at first? But then it seemed like she's a person that who gets very gullible very easily. But then once she sees Mashley personality, she feels like okay, I see something about this character is very different. And the comedy between the teacher, like the sensei, the person that is doing the exam,
I
and
think it's the
Mashley was
principal or something like
I
that.
no, I don't think it's a principal. So sensei and him, I like that dynamic. It was funny. I was laughing. I was actually giggling about that. Like, okay, this is actually entertaining. And his father, Mashley's father, was good in this chapter. He didn't do much, but he did what he needed to do. So I was entertained with chapter 2. I
I,
like it.
I felt like the father was just there to be funny, comedy, especially with the security guard thing, police
But
that got him into this action too.
that was the point of him to be there. That's why.
Yeah, it's just to build more comedy. But yeah, everything I agree with you, Miguel, because for sure, with Mashley, he's all muscle, but he has more brains. I gotta give him that. He actually has more. He's smarter than Saitama. He's also as kind-hearted as Mob, and I'm liking this character a lot more. Like he's not gonna leave people to die. He won't just do nothing, but he also has a good common sense of okay, this person is kind of sketchy and evil. I don't trust you. I'm gonna dip. I'm just gonna move on to do something else. But I'm gonna think like maybe you have a common goal. Maybe you do have a goal where we're both similar, or else it's just like maybe you have your own reasons and your own agenda. You don't really need to tell me, but I'll just do what I need to do and be a good person. So I'm gonna save you kind of thing. He makes pretty good logical choices and he makes a good person as a character development. So I do give this more props. I'm liking the second chapter and I'm already ready to read up to chapter 10 with Mashley, Magic and
I do
Muscles.
agree. I do agree.
So yeah, for sure. It's already better than One Punch Man, giving it's much more character development for Saitama. I'm sorry, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's better development than Saitama on the character
The
aspect.
thing about this one though is I kind of want to drop it because I would love for it to be an anime one day because I feel like it would be an actual hilarious anime. I feel like it would be really good.
I think
Um,
if Mashle gets the push and the backing, it will get anime for sure in the future. It will definitely be one of those. By the year 2022, it should have an anime by then. So hopefully it does well and hopefully gets the support it needs.
Depending who the anime series is, and in this day and age, I'm not taking any chances. I'm reading this. I'm reading this.
I mean, who knows? 2 years is a while.
And
Yeah.
also some studios could improve with animators. New animators could be coming out right now, improving their own work, and by the time it gets announced, they're doing that work. So who knows? We can't really predict what's gonna happen in 2 years with the studios. So who knows?
I mean, if which studio picks it up, okay, I'll give it I'll still watch it. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
read it, but I'm gonna still watch the show. So it's gonna be fine with me. Moving on to the next manga series, Undead Unlock Chapter 3.
I'll say it was a great continuation with the fight. Chapter 3 ended off nice what I expect. And my favorite part about chapter 3, for guys, sorry about this quick spoiler, is that they're going outside of Japan. Something that I like about this very much is a small, I guess, praise for it, is that most series from Shonen Jump or series that are from Japan, they're all stays inside the state, the country of Japan. And to actually see a series that going out into Russia, somewhere else, I dig that because that means we're gonna get world building of this other society, of this underground people that they have, of the negators. So I love that already, just because that we can actually see the country itself and the other countries of Russia, the whole different aspect of that. So I really like that world building from the start of chapter 3 already. So I'm enjoying that aspect. So that was my favorite part of the whole chapter, and also that about the fucking. That was pretty cool as well because that was almost there.
I don't know what you read, but I don't remember that part of the
The part
manga.
of almost happening, if you get the jokes, and I was not trying to be specific because it was a spoiler. I was trying to get the viewers to be, oh, what is he talking about? To actually go read it and then see, oh, like, oh, this was he was talking about. I didn't want to explain the joke, Sam.
It's too late. You explain the joke.
I know. I'm sorry, boss. Sam kind of threw it under the bus. He just went like, oh wait, what's he talking about?
I don't know
Well, you
what
reading
you're
hentai?
talking
Like,
about.
no.
And I think you read the wrong Undead Unluck series.
No,
But
no, you just threw the whole joke through like a whole fire pit. I'm like, okay, forget it.
no, you didn't really need to make the
But
joke.
Sam,
And
what
you
did
didn't
you
need
think
to
of the
say that
chapter, though?
part.
Sam, what did you
But
think
for
of the chapter?
sure, I did like the series much more. I'm liking the undead MC himself. He's actually not dumb. He's a lot smarter than we actually think,
Well,
and he actually knows how to get to travel to places without needing a passport because
well,
he's been living for all this time and he
I was
has all
about to
these
say
secrets.
he's been
He
living for 300 years. He should know where to
But
go.
say, James, have you read any of this yet?
No, not yet.
It's actually pretty good. Like
it's
it's
funny.
all right.
It's good.
It's
Like
I would say that it's more. I don't want. I guess vulgar could be a good word for it, but like not in like an overly vulgar type way.
it's
But
not
like
like
it's good.
it's not
James,
like
have
it's
you seen
inappropriate. It's more like um it's
James?
it's
Have
it's
you
hilarious. It's satire funny.
James? Have you seen Torchwood before?
Yeah.
Torchwood. So imagine the main character Torchwood as his own manga series, but more in an edgy route. But he has a partner that has bad luck. That
I
is
would watch
exactly
that.
So
so. That
Torchwood, yeah.
is it's literally the best example I could give you because once I read this series, it reminded me like Torchwood. He is a dude that have lived for 300 years and just wants to die now because he has lived for far too long. That's literally like Torchwood because that was the MC character of John
Yeah,
Barrowman.
Captain Jack. Yeah.
Yeah, Captain Jack. So that's literally what happened with this series is the same. So that's the best example that I could get, and I'm so happy that you watch it because that's the only example I could give it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'm a huge fan of Torchwood and Doctor Who, but yeah.
Me too, but yeah, so that's the best example I could give it. So if you like Torchwood, you will like this series. It just has what Ray said. It has that edgy comedy route, but it's not too far to the edge like Interspecies, but more tame. But it's very good.
I
With
mean,
the cartoon,
I just wanted to say that he uses the etchiness well
well,
for comedy, which is why I
agreed.
think that etchy should be used for is for comedy and uses it for comedy in a good format. I think.
yeah, agree. And the only thing that's etchy is literally, or the more of anything that's been censored is literally from the undead man's his junk. But yeah, but that's
But
really it.
yeah,
It's censored, but yes.
but yeah,
But I guess it's censored in a way where it's hilarious. But I mean, this manga is fun and it's funny, hilarious. Where it's good. It's I guess another example I could bring into this is No More Heroes, the game
Little
in a
bit,
way.
little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like that too. Of what
I
they need to
I
do and
actually never heard of that.
Oh, you would like Normal Heroes.
yeah,
Actually, never heard of that. Wow.
yeah, you'll like the series. It's fun. The thing it started with the Wii. I guess you could just watch the gameplay or see if the Switch
Might as
has the
well
game.
wait for the new one now. There's a new one coming out.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's true.
Just play it.
Yeah, it's like No More Heroes in a way where they need to do certain stuff in order to stay safe where they do not get killed. Um
All right, cool.
but for sure it's good. And then Unluck, I'm enjoying it. I'm already like hooked. I'm full in to see where this keeps going. Like it's even with its inappropriateness, it's still funny. I feel that just dark comedy get work and that work. But yeah, let's go on to our next one, the manga series. I'm scared, guys. Death Note special one shot that came out literally today on Monday.
Before they go, because I will be the only one that will be quiet in this section since I didn't fully read it and I never really seen the first part of the series. The only thing that I tried to read was the first 40, 30 chapters. I didn't get just to finish. So my
Pages.
first, so yes, pages. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. So I will say is that the art looks cool. The concept looks iffy to me. That's all I'll say. Other than that, you guys take the lead. Go ahead.
Well, I could say this much, Miguel. You might not need to even finish this, honestly. Just it's just more like you going into disappointment to the end. Like this entire series was okay for as a whole, but that ending was like, what the fuck? Like what was the whole entire point of this one shot then? And
So I mean, look, I get this thing was trending on Twitter. Like
Yeah.
it was it was I mean, it might even still be trending on Twitter. So
it
like
is. It actually is.
people are excited about this. People really like Death Note. They just really did. It's one of the it was a thriller, and like James was we were talking about earlier. James was like, there's no other anime manga really like it.
Mhm.
At least that we know about that was as popular as Death Note was. Death Note was very popular. It's
Mhm.
just that some aspects of it just aren't as good.
Yeah.
Especially this one shot is I think we would like them to have been. It reads well, like it's cool, like it starts to it kind of gets you sucked in. It's like you want to see how it progresses and where it
Mhm.
goes, and then the end just completely
I
like
agree.
it literally it's like the end of the one shot itself takes itself out of your hands and throws itself on the floor.
No, that's literally
That's a great way to describe it.
yeah. That's a great explanation.
And it's just like, but why? Why did you do that to me? You had me interested. You had me eating out of the palm of your hand with this story that you were doing, and then all of a sudden you're like, I don't want you to like this anymore. No. Yeah, I like, so it almost had me for a second. It was like, yeah, no, I kind of like this, and then you get to the end and you're like, no, I wasted my time. Like, why would you do this to me? Like, why? Because yeah, you could be enjoying something, and then at the end sours the entire experience, and that's exactly what happened.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. It's
I want to know
it's kind
I
of
want to know what you guys
it's
talk about. Tell about it. Yeah.
it's kind of sad because I feel like this one shot was primed to be a great one shot. It's 10 years after the events of Light Yagami and the first Kira, and that entire experience and how it shaped um, how we do cybercrime, how we investigate crimes in general. It changed the world. So, doing a story from that aspect sounds really interesting. You have this guy, it starts off really cool at the beginning where Ryuk shows up and you realize, oh shit, this guy has seen Ryuk before 2 years previously, and he had this seemingly great plan where it's like, no, hit me back in 2 years and I'll be able to execute it. And then it goes on, and it's like it's going really good. And like Ray says, you just get to the end and it left me with the same feeling that I had when I watched Death Note the anime. The ending is just so unsatisfying. It's so stupid. It's not lazy. It's just a bad decision. I
It's just
think it's just a
no,
really bad decision.
it's
So,
just a bad ending.
so if I may ask, so good concept, good premise, but bad execution. Is that what it
I
was?
mean, that's the thing. I can't say bad execution because I thought it was written well. All of the characters that were reintroduced, the fact that Ryuk was talking about, oh well, there's these people who touch pages of the Death Note so they can see me, so we need to be aware of them. The writing sets it up to be a really great one shot, and then at the end, it's kind of like, oh well, we need this to end, so. The Shinigami King was like, guess what? If you are the one selling the Death Note or you're the one that buys it, you're both gonna die. And the Trump looking president guy doesn't take it. All in all I have to say is it left me feeling the same way I felt after watching the first iteration of Death Note. Great start, great middle, and then the ending is just completely unsatisfying. And like we talked about bef- right before we started recording, I hate when my time is wasted. I am a very busy man and I have very limited time to do things that I actually want to do. And
Mhm.
this was an absolute waste of my time because I didn't need this. I didn't learn anything. One thing I didn't mention is the new L is absolutely fucking useless.
He's
The
trash.
new L finds out, oh, well, I've deduced that the new Kira lives in Japan, because the Shinigami cannot be too far away from the human that holds the Death Note. So great, you figured that part out. That's
now
it.
what? Yeah, that's it.
It's bullshit. This was a wasted one shot. I feel like they should have maybe taken some more time, some more revisions to make a better story. Because no one knew this was coming. You know, if you were gonna just drop something cool, it should have been cool. But it's not. But it is what it is. I have no need to ever read this ever again.
And
You
plus,
know,
I
it's,
agree.
it was
'Cause-
right. This was literally just a gauge of interest. Like, are people still interested in Death Note? I think is what that was.
It was. I mean,
Yes,
like,
but
if you
I
were to
want
like
good
go
Death
into the
Note.
fandom,
I
there is a
I
Death
think
Note fandom.
like we said, it was trending, and so the people are definitely still interested. We'll see what they do with it now. Now that they know people are still interested in it.
I think it's a mixture of that it was trending because people are interested, but also because people want to talk about it, so people use the hashtag to make it trending and everything. But it's very shocking to hear you guys, your opinion about it, because from what I saw, most people being giving positive feedback on my feed on my timeline. So I was like, okay, so I see a lot of people like it, but then to hear your feedback. But yes, I just saw most people impressions of the chapter, and I saw people whole opinion, like you guys right now. So it makes total sense of where you guys are coming from, though.
Like from what I just said, like as a whole, including the ending, middle, beginning, it was okay. But that ending really does gives you a bad taste of this entire story because from I'm gonna be paraphrasing of what Pro Cypher said before on our podcast a long time ago. It's literally having this great burger where you've eaten it, it was delicious, but then that last bite it just leaves a horrible taste. Like it was just it was just bad. Like it just ruins the entire experience of the burger itself, which is you just ruined the entire experience of Death Note right here. Like I get during back then with the original series, they couldn't end the series with the bad guy winning, so they create this stupid ending in a way where the good guys do win and they kill off Light and stuff like that. But this one shot could have given them a chance, like, oh hey, this is a special one shot. We're gonna give the villain the W. We'll give the villain the win, and we would have all been happy with that. We would have been all been glad with that. But no, like you just literally
You don't
cop out.
So you don't have to. I just felt like you could have found a better ending. So in hindsight, I don't like the ending of the original Death Note series.
Same. Yeah,
But
it
if you're
was
looking at it, it's like to Ryuk and the other Shinigamis, we are insects. We are just small cogs in the machine and things that they interact with when they're bored. So the fact that Light doesn't win, it's perfectly fine because really the story is told from Ryuk's perspective and we're just watching a game that he's enjoying. Like so in that aspect it's fine, but this just write it better. Why would you do pretty much the same thing again? This is where it's boring. It's 10 years later, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just really disappointed with it.
I am disappointed as well, and it's because of the way that this story progresses. That did the main character actually do anything wrong? You know, which is like, they got into some really interesting territory, but didn't actually go into it.
Exactly.
Oh, like
It's like they
there's so
talk
much more
about
we
it.
can
It's like,
learn.
oh,
Yeah.
here it is. That's cool. What are we gonna do with it? Nothing. Bye.
Yeah. So,
So
I don't know. No
what
thanks.
what kind of ruin for any Death Note related stuff, new series, whatever, reboot, whatever. We're already done with this. We're just ugh, we're away. This one shot just literally confirms where all right, Death Note, we don't need it anymore. We're done with you.
I
We're
want
moving to better
more.
things.
I just
You
want it to
want
be
more?
good. I want more. I just want it to be good. It's cuz like I said the premise, the writing's good. It's just the ending is it's just bad. I just felt like the writers room you could have talked about it a little bit more, come up with different revisions of the whole thing, of the whole story. The ending was just pathetic. I feel like it could be fixed. You could do another one shot, you could do another offshoot of the series where Kira is still it's still like 10 years after Kira and you find someone else that has the book. It doesn't even have to be Ryuk. It could be another Shinigami with another person. Like there's
That's what I
ways to
was
make it
hoping this
interesting.
was. I was hoping that this was like one of the other Shikigami that Ryuk knew that was like, I saw what you did. My turn. You
Yeah,
know, that would have been interesting.
but
Different Death Note, different rules would have been interesting.
But yeah, we'll never know because like apparently, like that's fandom is gonna just like it because it's just Death Note. But I guess we're gonna all be
That's any
perfectly
fandom,
clear.
right?
Yeah, that's any fandom. But for sure, Death Note is
And
not our favorite from here.
and
Sorry.
like much later, we will talk about fandom because fandom is very interesting.
All right, guys, let's go move on to our personal watchings and readings.
Am I going first, or one of you guys want to go first? Because I know James want to first talk about ID Invaded, so I want you to go first, James.
Yeah, I'd rather
Okay.
have James go first this time. Suck it, Miguel.
Same here. Suck it, Miguel. Go ahead.
So I've been watching a few things this week in preparation for the episode. Interspecies reviewers
Hmm.
saw the first two episodes. I don't know if it's for me. I need to continue watching, but I just don't know if it's for me. I don't know if it's fun enough for me to spend my time watching it.
You said a real important word there. You said fun. It's got to be fun. You're right.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm interested. Like, oh, I want to be an adventurer who just makes money so that I can travel the globe wherever just to find different female species to fuck. That sounds like a lot of fun. But I mean, it's just what they gave me for the first two episodes. I'm just not really that impressed. But I'll keep watching, and if it pulls me by episode 5, I'll keep watching. But if not, I'll drop it because I just don't. I don't want to spend my time on stuff like that.
Cool.
Um, Inspector finally saw that. Really interested in it. Can't wait to see where that goes.
Until where did you watch, if I may ask?
Episode 2.
Okay, episode 3 and 4 are gonna hook you, and that's when it gets really up a notch. So you're definitely gonna like episode 3 and 4 a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of things about it that I like a lot. I don't want to go into too many spoilers for people that haven't seen it. The main one that I wanted to talk about today was It Invaded. This anime is sick. This is one of like the best concepts of an anime I've seen in a long time. Um, the you're pretty much I don't know how to explain this. I feel like the premise is a lot like if you guys have even seen these movies, listeners, if you've seen these movies, it's like the best parts of Minority Report,
Hmm.
The Cell with Jennifer Lopez in 2000,
I
and
guess
in
so.
and Inception. And what the reason why I bring up The Cell is because in The Cell, Jennifer Lopez was this psychologist who has this experimental way of getting into her patient's subconscious in order to help them with unresolved issues and stuff like that. There's a serial killer who is on his deathbed, but there is still a girl who they're still trying to find. So they use her tech and her abilities to go into the serial killer's mind to try to find the victim. Pretty much sums up It Invaded. So
I
that
think I've
aspect of
heard
it,
this.
yeah, that aspect of it I find really interesting. You have this guy, it's not really spoilers, but you have this guy who used to be a cop, turned into a serial killer, and now they use him to go into the subconscious minds of these other serial killers in order to find their motives, their victims, and stuff like that. Episode 4 so far was my favorite. The serial killer is the gravedigger.
Oh,
This
oh,
guy would put people into a coffin, live stream it, give them oxygen and some other stuff so that they can survive long enough just to torture them while they're on live stream.
that
And
reminded me of Ryan Reynolds' 6 feet, like buried, no, buried.
buried.
Yeah,
Buried
buried.
is that's what's one of my greatest fears, being buried alive. So that hit me really hard. So it's like this detective trying to use this subconscious world to catch these killers is something that really resonates with me, something that I love in movies, on TV in general. So this is insanely good. I'm not doing it justice. It's just something that you have to see and experience for yourself, but I highly recommend it.
I can't agree
Okay.
more. That's the same example I've used. Like this reminds me of Buried, but this is so good. This is Criminal Mind kind of detective mystery kind of thing. It's very good. It's very engaging in a way, especially even if it's not towards the main character guy going into these other worlds. Even the policewoman that has to go out and patrol to find these criminals. you're pretty attached to these characters as well, because apparently this girl who was who's the police officer who ended up becoming one of the victims of the serial killer, and now her way of thinking and her entire mind is so warped now, where she's almost exactly alike with the serial killer cop that they used to put into serial killers' minds and stuff like that. And it's good. It's very insane. And when you catch up with episode 6, you're gonna be like, wow, this is it gets the anime part. There's gonna be that part in the scene in the episode is gonna be like, oh right, it's an anime. Like it gives you that moment. But for sure, it's still interesting. It's still very good to watch. Um, I'm just waiting for Ray to watch it and just be hooked into it.
Yes, Ray, you are going to love this. Like I
I mean,
feel like this is something.
everything you just said, I'm like, all right, I like that.
And
All
I
right.
recommended this since the beginning. I was like, you guys need to watch this. This is something we can definitely be full on
And
talk
I
about.
listened. I was just busy with something that
Yeah.
we'll talk about here in a bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Inception comparisons that I've heard, it's the way it fits in, it's really interesting. Once they get into the subconscious, which is called the idwell,
Mhm.
the reason why it kind of looks like all of these broken up like pieces of like buildings and stuff and things that are constantly building and being broken apart is because it matches a serial killer's subconscious. Technically, their minds are unstable, so the world that you're in is also unstable. It's fuck is it really interesting.
And each
Like I
world is
can't wait.
different. Each
Yeah.
world is different too. So
It's so good. I won't say anything else. Just watch it.
I'm gonna. And you said this one's on Hulu and Funimation?
correct, yes.
Yes.
All
The
right.
dub's pretty good too. That
Yeah,
I'm watching it dubbed.
dub as well. It's actually pretty holds up.
Yeah.
All right, so for me, for to continue the anime talk, I watched two animes that I feel like the anime itself is hurting itself to continue progressing, and I don't know if it will get a season 2. Dorhirodoro. Not sure if I'm pronouncing the anime correctly. But it's
That's on my
actually
list of anime to watch.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts, James, 'cause I don't think you will like it at all. I'll be
Mm.
up.
Can I
There's
have
four
the plot?
episodes. There's 4 episodes airing. The plot, to tell you as well, is not as complex. It's too over the place. I don't feel like the anime found its plot. That's from what I'm getting. But I'm not sure how many episodes out officially, but I've only seen 4 episodes, and I feel like the anime is hurting to progress. Like I don't think this anime is not getting season 2 of how much, and it's mix of CG and regular animation as well. Like
Oh,
it's just
I'm probably not gonna like that.
well, no, but I don't think the animation will bother you. I feel like the story will bother you more than the animation, James.
Mm-mm.
I'm
Mm.
not speaking about the animation at all. And I feel like hopefully it gets better after episode 4. I'm gonna still stick with it. I just binge it. So I I didn't get hit by the week to week. I binge it and I feel like it was like all over the place. The second one is Plunderer.
Mhm.
I feel like the anime is hurting itself too because I feel like the MC is so inconsistent, and I feel like the story
Really? In what way?
it's just that I feel like where the anime could be much better with the story premise that it has. That's what I feel like, and because the story premise is interesting,
Mhm.
it actually seems like it could be much more entertaining than it is. I just feel like the anime is not really opening its world much more than it should have been. I feel like it's just too enclosed, is what I feel like it
It's
is.
yeah, but it's just started
I
though. It's only 4 episodes in. Like you have
Oh, yeah,
to
that's true.
know who the main character is. You have to get into the antagonist. You have to figure that stuff out, and then you branch out to the
You
other stuff.
you do have a point because I just noticed that it's not just one course, 2 course. So you do have a point that is probably going to branch out a lot more. So it is 12, it is 24 episodes. So you're 100% correct that it might branch out. So I will wait for that and wait for a couple more episodes to be more on top of that.
Because
I was
when
trying.
when I saw it, I'm like, all right, this guy is super OP. What do you do to stop this guy? And then they introduce Lieutenant Murdoch, and it's like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna fuck him up. This is gonna be fun.
I do agree. That dynamic was pretty interesting. I'm just waiting to know. Hopefully, he's not the only one that could stop him. Hopefully, there's others. That's
I'm
what I'm
sure there will
hoping
be.
for. So, like, hopefully he's not his only type of rival. I was trying to watch Bofure. I don't want to get hurt, so I will max my defense. I was trying to watch that today. Didn't have the chance, so hopefully next week I go talk about because I really want to get my insights of
So
how
good.
this on the shield about this girl is, and news about Boruto. My man Rayapollo and Sam, they are adapting the current arc of the about the bandit.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah,
Bandit
they
arc.
are.
Yep.
Because
Mhm.
from what I saw the last episode, they were in prison or something like that, or trying to have a friend or something.
Well, they are adapting it, so I don't know what to say, but they are adapting it. They started it this past weekend, so I'll say that
Did? Because
they
like
did.
from like the images I saw, like I don't remember them going into a prison and disguising themselves and stuff like that to
Right?
go
Did you
out.
watch the episode?
I have not watched this episode. No.
I don't really give in spoilers about Boruto, which is that's a dumb reason to say. But yeah, I'll just say that if you're interested about Boruto, listeners, watchers, manga readers, they are adapting it, not in a fast pace, but they are giving those scenes that are coming up. So it's definitely if you want to go back into the anime, go check it out now. So I will say that. But that's all about my anime watches about this past week.
Right? Your turn.
I did not watch any anime this week. None.
Okay. So you have any manga that you want to speak about on your side?
Y'all ready to
Anything,
start talking about manga?
Sam? Want to talk about anything anime before Ray jumps into manga?
I don't think I've watched anything other than anything manga because I was just watching BoJack Horseman its last season. But yeah, yeah. Go right ahead. Let's start into mangas.
All right, let's go into manga. Go ahead, Ray. Take the lead.
So we talked about stuff. We talked about the few that we'd all been reading. But the one that I made a promise a few weeks back that I gave you my kind of my kill list of what I was trying to get through and catch up on and get current on. And that was My Hero, Black Clover, and One Piece. Those were the big ones. So
Yep.
we got current on My Hero. We are now currently current on Black Clover. And this is good. Black Clover, I will tell you right now, took a turn later on into the rest of the. So, if you think that it's just about Asta, that's the part that keeps people away from it. I think because he seems kind of like one dimensional, which he is. But everything else that works and revolves around and requires him works really well, and that's the part I came to like about Black Clover. Is that the rest of the world needs him, but he wants to be a part of the rest of the world, and that's what makes it interesting. Like I really, really enjoyed all of the different types of powers that they offer. I mean, because there is a lot of rinse repeat in the very beginning. A lot of rinse repeat in the beginning. It's like, magic person's too strong. Who can beat magic person? Anti-magic boy. That's
Pretty
it's a
much.
lot of that. It's a lot of that in the beginning, and I will say that kind of continues for a bit, but the enemies progressively do get more powerful, literally, like much more powerful. But as time goes on, Asta and his friends get stronger. It's like Asta is not always the one that's getting the power up. His
Agreed.
friends are also getting the power ups that they then help him defeat the bad guys, because there are points where he's like asking for help. He's like, "Hey, I need your help to beat this person," and I'm like, "Oh, he actually asked. It wasn't like they just did." He was like, "No, I need your help to beat these people. I can't beat them. I need your help." Which
All right,
that made me really respect that character. It really did.
so before you continue with the story aspect, I want to ask you a question. So do you have in mind already your top 5 favorite characters of the series so far since chapter 1 to 2030? Do you have a top 5, a top of your
Top
head?
5. I could do top of my head top 5. 5. Probably Charmy.
All right, Charming.
4. Luck. 3. Asta. 2. Yami.
Yep, my goat.
Yami is my boy. I love Yami. And then number 1.
Izora.
No. My queen. you
Noel?
remember my queen?
Noel.
Boy, please. No, I'm talking about the true leader of the Crimson Lions.
Marilona, yep, Marilona.
Yes, Mara is the freaking best. I love that character. By the way, I probably would bump Zora up over Charmy, to be completely honest, because Zora was actually really cool.
Yeah,
I liked his backstory a lot.
he's a
His
dope
backstory
character.
is good. Like I really like that character. But I don't know. I told you guys this. I didn't share this with anybody. I shared this with you guys only. So the first time I shared this with everybody else. I really did. The one thing I really do like about this, outside of the captains, is that this is crazy. The story about the villains is it picks itself up in a place where the villains are the villains, but they don't know for a while that they're the villains. And it's a weird thing. And that's a very vague way of saying something. It's not a direct spoiler to anything. But I loved it.
One of my favorite line that you also saw on Twitter is that Black Clover does magic captains much better than Bleach, and that's something that I really enjoy as well.
I put that was like the first thing I was like, okay, this is why I'm still reading this. It's because if you're gonna have a situation like this where you have brigades, you have teams, the captains have to be interesting. If they're not interesting and you focus everything on the MC, which is what Bleach did, it kind of gets wishy-washy and a lot of rinse repeat all the way through. But all of the captains in this are interesting. I want to know about the captains. I want to see the captains grow. They're not just all powerful from the start. They're very strong from the beginning, but they get stronger, which is crazy.
That's something I love about Captain Yami, Jack the Ripper. Know these names to also know about Fuego. His speech to Asta is still brought up until this day about him remembering of what Fuego said, and we also know about the whole competition between the family about Nazo and them. So that's pretty interesting as well, the whole dynamic. The last question I wanted to ask you is that how do you feel about the whole Elf saga finally end with the way it did? Were you satisfied?
It was long. That was long. I felt like I was reading that for a while. I felt like that was almost like 50 chapters.
No, no. Well, the Elf arc was about 100 chapters, the arc, but the Elf saga, the whole Elf saga was about 210 chapters. The whole saga was about 210 chapters.
I liked the way it ended. So the one thing I found that like being caught up now that I didn't like was that they were immediately like, oh hey, this new bad guy way stronger than the bad guy you just fought. I did not like that. It was like in James, it was instant. They get to this new place and they're like, oh yeah, that bad guy that you literally just took forever to beat. This new guy way stronger. Don't like.
Hey James, I'll tell you this. James and Sam, the most funniest thing that I did a reaction of the most recent 2 chapters. They're not a spoiler, but this is something that's very small, tiny spoiler. He kicked ass to a captain, but throughout the whole time, my dude did not left a finger out of his pockets. He still had his hands in his pockets. He was beating people up throughout the whole brigade while pockets being stuffed in with his hands. He did not lift a finger. I was like, damn, this dude is that powerful without even doing nothing.
But so that's the only thing that's really kind of annoying me. It's like, you mean to tell me, because this first bad guy James this dude was bad. Like they needed everybody to fight this dude. I mean everybody to fight this guy. And then they're like, yeah, this guy's way stronger, but we're only gonna send like 6 of y'all this time. And I'm like, what?
Are they testing his power? They're testing his limits?
I mean, but then they start. But then also here's the other kicker. So in the current part, they now have mixed up the way that they measure power. They've added a whole new way they measure power.
Oh yeah, that's pretty interesting though.
And now now this is the new scale that everybody goes by all of a sudden.
You are zero.
Of friendship.
No. Oh thank God, no. So it's like, you know how the metric system and how everybody else is, different. It's kind of like that. But now the new bosses go in percentages.
You're 40%. You're 50%. Wait, what?
It's like they literally go, oh well, this guy's only got 40% of power. Well, that means I only need 50 to whoop y'all, so it's okay.
50% of your maximum.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And that threw me off during my review, I'm like,
Whatever.
so he just kicked ass of a whole brigade with 40% power. Imagine with 100% dude. I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, so I will say that I really have enjoyed my time with Black Clover. Like it is one of those that it's slow to start, but
Agreed.
once it starts to roll, it's actually it's enjoying. Like, and that's why I was able to just read it as fast. I think I did that in, I don't know.
A week or two, I think you did it.
I think it was like a week.
Yeah.
I think I caught up in like a week.
Last thing I want to ask, because I know that I kind of spoiled this with a thumbnail a couple months ago. How did you actually reading it, the whole saga? How did you feel about the rebirth of said character?
It made sense because they telegraphed it.
Okay, because a lot of people was very upset about that, saying that wasn't for shadows. I want to give perspective on that. How did you feel about that
That made.
aspect?
I mean, if you've been watching anime or reading manga, stuff like that happens all the time.
Okay.
it
I just
just
wanted
it
to
just
get that.
it just
Thank
does.
you.
And the way that it was this character that has so much power. Of course, they have a contingency plan. like
Like you
this,
do.
like this dude literally has all the power, basically, and for him to not have a backup plan would be dumb. So it
I
worked
got
out.
it. Cool. All right. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you enjoy it. So I can't wait. Will you still be reading it week to week like My Hero, or will you just choose to read it whenever?
I haven't decided yet because like that was a lot. That's a lot of Black Clover in my head now. Like a lot, and so I'm probably gonna like just kind of let it. I'll let a few chapters simmer. But if I have caught up with everything else I want to catch up on, and now that I'm starting One Piece, it might now that I'm continuing One Piece, if I see it, I'm like, yeah, I can read that real quick. Well, actually, after this last chapter, I probably got to see what's happening next.
Me too, because I gotta see. Yo, my dude. What? I'm like, okay.
But no, I gotta see what's happening next because this was like the first surprise in a while because this is basically a character they've made you think was untouchable for the longest
Oh
time.
no, trust me. Very. I got spoiled 2 days before the chapter officially came out because the
Yikes.
Twitter leak. So trust me,
Yikes.
a guy who does reactions. I can't do nothing about it, so I completely understand.
Yikes.
But I'm glad you enjoy. I'm glad you like it though.
It's a good time. I mean, so the one question I get from like everybody who's asked me about it so far is like, would you recommend me starting it? Yes, start it. Because Black Clover's not going anywhere. It's not.
Sweet.
It's only gonna get. I think that elf arc is probably one of the better arcs we've gotten in shonen in a while. It's really good. Like once you finally get the pickups of what's happening with the elf arc, it rolls and it rolls for a nice while and it's good. So I would definitely say start it. Like I don't think you need to binge and get caught up like I am. But you definitely should start it so that way you could at some point get there. So
I'm glad to hear that. Trust me, a lot of Black Horror fans will love to hear it because I'm definitely sharing this on social media for sure.
well, you're welcome. It finally happened, internet.
Though,
But now on to One Piece. It's time, baby.
good luck, Goda. You have another one in your ship.
See about that. That's why I'm catching up on these because I want to
I'll
be.
get to One Piece one day. One magical day, I'll pick it up.
I'm gonna call James. I'm a like telepath because that's what we'll be able to use in the future. I'm a telepath James is like 50 years. Be like, James, you read One Piece yet? He'd be like, no.
For James to read One Piece, he probably has to have 2 months off, 2 weeks, 2 weeks to spend time with his girlfriend, 2 other weeks to watch movies and TV, and then a week of break with not doing nothing, and then the other month maybe he decides to do One Piece, or maybe he'll just do something else that he didn't choose not to do. That's what I feel like is when James will actually do One Piece.
I feel like he'll give it one day out of that 2 month because the rest of it he's doing podcasts or something stuff for his website.
Yeah,
or
that's
something
really
like that.
what'll end up happening. It's like, oh yeah, I have all this time off to do
Like-
work.
Like, let me just actually read 900 chapters right now and catch up. You know what? Let me actually watch movies, TV shows, spend time with my girlfriend. Let me actually go to movie screenings. Let me actually do podcasts, other projects and stuff. Let me not do 900 chapters of One Piece. Yeah, F that.
I mean, One
'Cause-
Piece is probably gonna take me like a month, literally, to get caught up on.
One Piece, when I first read, I'm not sure if I said it on the podcast before, but when I first read it, I was up. The series was on chapter 700. I believe 750 around there, and I was on pay chapter 400 when the anime wasn't fully cut up. So I binged about 400, roughly 400 chapters in about a month and a half or
Yeah,
less.
it's exactly about a month.
So good luck on that.
Yeah. So we'll see how we're gonna do. Like, we're gonna do weekly updates or whatever. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. But as of right now, I know it's gonna take a while.
Maybe if
So
you feel
I
like
might
it, maybe you could join me in the coverage of Black Clover if you feel like it. It's up to you though.
maybe we'll see.
I think One Piece we might not be able to do like videos of it until maybe next 2 months, 3 months, maybe, right? Because
Maybe.
there's gonna be a lot of storytelling with One Piece. Once you get to the Wano arc,
Yeah,
like these chapters, like they still have like about 20 something pages, but there's a lot of story written onto it. But it's good story, very good story.
agree.
So you will enjoy it. Just enjoy the adventure right now because again, it's not about the treasure.
Journey
It's not. It's about the journey,
definitely
and
is.
you'll enjoy it. One Piece is
Well,
very nice.
what else has you guys have read anything I want to discuss about it, or you guys are good?
Actually, I want to ask James, did you watch any more Darwin's Game?
No, I did not have time today because I really wanted to try to fit in some other stuff, but I
Mm,
really can't wait to get back into it. I'm loving what I've seen so far.
It's
okay,
great.
cool. I think that's really most of all I've watched. I watched the same thing you guys did, Plunderer, Invaded. I'm all caught up from there. Interspecies reviewers, me and Miguel just made a very funny videos of it. But the reason why I brought this up, funny enough, in our going into our news section part of our podcast, Funimation removes interspecies reviewers anime and as it falls outside company's standard. However, Wakami and Anime Lab continues to stream interspecies reviewers only in selective regions.
It's smut. It is smut. It is I think it's partially pointless. They're trying to put action in it to try to keep your attention span, but I think it's just nonsense. I think it's just mindless nonsense
With titties.
with
That too.
lots of titties.
And it's stupid because when they set of company standards, when they themselves has high school DxD, prison school, other edgy type of
How
These
not
are
to
anime.
not
summon a
as
demon
bad as
lord.
this.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, no. I'm not trying to defend their decision. I'm not. The way it's just the way they did it. They never gave a public announcement of their Twitter handle of the way they of their public website. They just took it out. They hired dub. They hired voice actors for the dub as well, and those people just lost their chance to do a job, and
Well,
that sucks about that. Yes, it's a job to do some type of moaning, some
I
type of
think
scenes.
it'll still happen.
I
What
don't
the
There,
know.
dub?
there's a place
I feel
for
like
it.
I feel like this was somebody who lived there. Like, 'cause I'm pretty sure this was somebody's job. Somebody was like, somebody was supposed to screen this and was like, oh yeah, I watched the first episode and didn't watch the rest of it. And then somebody else watched it and was like, hey, did you watch this? And they were like, yeah, I watched the first episode. It's like, oh no, you didn't watch the rest of this. We can't have it.
But I just feel like the way they did it, it was very ugly and everything. And hopefully, it's just that hopefully they get some feedback of in the future how to do things better. And it sucks that it went out like this because we was enjoying the species for whoever it was. Me and Sam was, but we had to do it in like a different route now. But interspecies reviewers sucks that Funimation do like that. Hopefully, High Dive in the U.S. or any other company will
I
pick it up.
High Dive is the only one who's carrying content like that right now.
Yep,
So
that's true. So that's
Yeah,
why I feel
But
like High
it
Dive will do
seems like
that.
they're only like for anything that's ecchi or very uncensored. It has to be for Sentai stuff. Interspecies reviewers isn't really Sentai um anime in a way.
Oh
It's
yeah, no.
Kawaki Katawak Kawa. I'm sorry. But I messed
Yeah,
that
that
name horribly.
company. Yeah,
But
that
that
company.
company owns it, and so I don't know if High Dive would want to pick it up and show the censored version as well. Like the censored version is still gonna be broadcast into television, and the uncensored version will be, I guess, whatever after dark, I guess. But I mean, at least we'll still get to watch it, but it's gonna have to be in a more illegal way because
I
I
just
don't.
don't know how this made it to Funimation in the first place.
Yeah,
There is
that's very
Why the
true.
first episode, it was like, haha, that's kind of funny.
Well,
I
I can
just
obviously
don't
say
get
that
it.
guy could get
Oh,
that guy's fired.
they watched the censored version too, by the way. Although it's really hard, even with watching the censored version, to be like, yeah, this will be a good idea for our network.
That's the thing, Sam. Like it's someone's job to watch it and give it the okay. It's
Yeah.
also someone else's job to give the official okay, like the real okay that matters. Like yes, cut print to streaming.
When
After
I
There's no way this should have made it to Funimation.
when
after three
when I
episodes, someone should have been fired, or like
when
it's
I
after one
first
episode they should have been fired.
when I first saw the live chart saying, "Oh, this is where you can find these animes," I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then Sam gave me the list. Oh, these are the animes we should cover this season. Like, okay, cool. Oh, okay. What the hell is this? Interspecies reviewers. Oh, where are we gonna watch this? I saw the trailer of it. Like, oh, there's some really type of fucking shit, like
I won't
actual
lie, like
fucking. But then,
I've looked at the manga for this, like wait, and then I read the plot for this, like how's Funimation having this? Like
then,
even the
and then
plot
after that, I
alone.
saw being too Funimation. Like, why? This is not your type of style. Like, this more country road type of some type of degenerate type of thing. So why Funimation? So then I'm like, okay. And then they just drop it like, hey, gotta respect their own company standards. They know what they're doing. So and also we also have to state it's probably not Funimation that did it. It's also Sony. Sony owns them now. So technically it's probably Sony the one that chose to do this.
I
And
mean,
then so we don't
Sony
really know.
has way more
I know there's
power though.
somebody over at their desk at Crunchyroll High Dive is laughing.
Oh yeah, that is
they,
definitely a
they
fact.
tried to steal one from us and it bit him in the ass. But no, I don't. I like. Hey, it's Funimation has their standards they have to keep, but I get it. So I mean, those people are like, well, what do you draw a line between etching? No, 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 no,
This is
no, 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 no,
hentai.
no.
This is
This is borderline
Oh,
hentai.
this borderline,
Yeah.
borderline, yes.
Uh huh.
like this is worse than Testament of the Sister thing anime.
Yeah, Testament of Sister New Devil.
Yeah, this is
Well,
worse.
this is just straight up prostitutes though. So it's like, oh,
Exactly. It's
Well, technically
exactly.
it is. So technically it is.
then
yeah.
there's a gender bender episode, and it's like,
I mean, the premise is not bad. It's just they should have chose a different streaming service for this, like completely different streaming service. Mm.
But just like Sam was saying, fandom before is something else, and
there's one place that you can watch it for free. Starts with P, it ends with hub.
oh,
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's where this belongs.
That's where this belongs.
imagine if porn, the P in the hub takes like an actual type of network and picks up anime like that. That would be some different change in the anime manga community.
That's just them knowing their audience.
Exactly, Ray.
I mean, you're trying to say hentai is not a genre category or something.
Oh my god! If they actually do that, if they actually listen to this and they actually picked it like, yo, this is a good idea. Let's go,
I know
go
you
on and go.
watch. Just do it.
Hey, I mean, if you're gonna be in the website anyway, I mean, that's the only place you go to for it. Like,
It's like,
Imagine 3
why
months
else
from
are
now.
you watching those anime? Huh?
It-
To laugh? Let's be
no.
real.
Imagine 3 months from now. Imagine 3 from now. We see in the news P Hub wants to become a network, and they're picking some edgy content. Like, oh wow. So Ray, I think they heard your thoughts. I think they
Well, we
heard your
just
prayer.
helped them make
I'll-
millions of
I'll
dollars
expect-
already.
I'll
So
expect check, please.
yes.
What is it? A lifetime subscription?
And also, can you credit us too, so we can make sure that we help there?
Fine, fair. Yep.
That'd be pretty interesting. But yeah, fandom, edgy content, and also outrageous people. What's the next news, Sam?
My Hero Academia character gets name change following controversy. Controversy. Sorry, guys.
Ray, what do you want to start this off first?
Okay, so I want to read this. Like I actually want to like read it so that way we can kind of have the base so people know what we're talking about. I know
Yeah,
most
because
people who follow Mike
I did
know,
not go through this.
because it was like once I started like reading deeper into it and like not just reading people's like outraged comments, it's like okay, I get it. Like I get it. Um, so first of all, let's let me find the best part of this. Um, let's see. So Horikoshi like he revealed the name of a character recently that, of course, had character backlash. So Dr. Daruma Ujiko's full name has been revealed as Maruta Shiga in chapter 259 of My Hero Academia. This is from Polygon, by the way. Um, with Maruta being the Japanese name for victims of human experimentation during World War II. Um, Seeing as this character is a follower of the series villain All for One and the scientist who actually does experiments on humans, this left a bad taste in many fans' mouths. So essentially, there people are upset that he took the name of the victims and turned them into the villain that is doing the things that were done to the victims in World War II to other characters. And I get it. I get why people are upset by this, mostly because it's like, why would you take the name given to these people who were like brutally like killed and experimented on in World War II and give that to this terrible person that's doing the same thing? I get why people are upset. I will say that Horikoshi came out immediately and said, "Hey, I did not do that. I did not intend to do that at all. Essentially, I wish I could find his like actual tweet. But so, to summarize it, I didn't intend to do that. I'm changing the name of the character. He flat out came out and said that I'm changing the name of the character. And that was like kind of like his statement on it. It's like didn't intend for this to be what this is. I'll change the name. But people are still insinuating that he didn't apologize, and so they're outraged that he now didn't apologize in the way that they wanted him to apologize. And look, Horikoshi admitted his mistake, first of all, and immediately took action. Action is far more important than words. I'd much rather have him just say, "Hey, I'm going to fix it," than him say anything else. That's it. He's taking action to correct his mistake. That's the most important part in all of this. He's literally changing the character's name in this series because he realized his mistake. He heard you, he listened to you, but you want him to apologize in a way that is deemed worthy to you. I don't understand that mentality. I never will. Uh, like I said, I was really impressed that he immediately came out and said, "I'm just going to change the name." Didn't expect that, so I was like, "Oh hell yeah, okay, sweet, done." You know, but in the outrage culture that we live in, no, not done. I don't get it. So I want to know what you guys think about this.
To quote his tweet, he exactly said many have pointed out that the character name with Shiga with Shiga Maruta in this week, Jump character has brought up some recollection of acts done in the past. I did not intend for that name to be associated as such. I take this matter very seriously and will change the name. That was what his tweet was said, and thereafter it blew up, and a lot of people was very upset, asking where's the apology, and many times said it in many different ways. Where's the apology? Where's the apology?
Does that
And
not sound like an apology to you guys?
that was really ugly, sad. How that came to be with this repercussion that Shonen Jump, the company Shueisha, and Viz all came out and said the same thing. Hey, we apologize. We will change the name, and they retweeted what he said and said it the same. And people kept asking, "Where's the apology?" And that hurts as a content creator because that's his story, and for you to attack him to change his work and what he didn't know that what he intended to do, that was not his purpose. His purpose was probably just he came up with a name that he first came up with, and also he was born after World War II and stuff like that, so he had no understanding that that was what the name was for, and it's just so ugly of how this all came to be, just for a chapter just to be out, and then a day after just to get that whole attack, and also for the fandom of the My Hero or the Boku no Hero just to also send death threats. It just became all ugly today just to see that happen to a creator who was or is beloved by the fandom and the fans, but to get attacked by something that he made a mistake of, yes or not, it was very sad to see that.
I fully agree with you guys. Like, it's if instead of a written apology, you have straight action, immediate action, right away, and not many people would take action until like after a huge trending crowd on Twitter or a huge complaint or like a lawsuit about to happen unless you change this. Hirokoshi is willing to like, oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I never meant for this because it was an accident. It was just the name, and I didn't know that this name was uh had so much significance into this history. So I'm gonna change it right away. What else do you want? A public apology just because of it? You don't earn that. You're the fans. You're the loving readers of this, and you're telling the author to apologize strictly because of that? I
So
mean,
I see it like this. His tweet is the apology, but like
yeah.
Ray was saying, they want his apology to say very, very specific words. Words probably like this: I want to apologize to the families and the people that were impacted by what happened then. I was insensitive for using this name, and I will go and remove it from the story and change the name. That's the verbiage that they wanted him to use in this cancel culture, and I think it's so fucking stupid. It's clear that he didn't know who this person was or the events. And it's like, oh shit, I acknowledge that this is fucked up. This was not my intent. I'm going to change it right now. You won't have to see it anymore. I'm just going to change it right now. You will never see it again. I apologize that that even made it out. That's the apology, but it's not the words, oh, I apologize to the families, I apologize to the fans, and this and that. It's not these very, very specific words, so therefore it's not an apology. What do you want him to say? And on the other hand, and I'm definitely going to be in the minority in this, just because one name is associated with a bad thing, are you telling me that we should never be able to use that word or that name ever again in history?
Agree.
What if he
Agree.
did know
You're
about
not
it
my then.
and wanted to use that name to bring awareness to what happened in a
Me,
different way?
I 100% agree. Me, in my opinion, my perspective, I am also in the minority. I don't believe he should have changed it. It's because he probably had a reason for it. He probably had a reason to show that name to be in the series and was gonna bring up a story behind that. And probably who knows if if that said character was its real name. We don't know that. So that's something that is something.
It shouldn't matter. It's just
Agree.
a name. The writer's intent, the creator's intent is what matters. The intent is what matters behind words. I could say fuck a bunch of different ways. What matters is my intent. So I don't think he should have to change it because that's not his intent. He's not trying to insult anyone. He's not trying to be offensive. It's just a name. His intentions, what he does with it, is what should matter. But again, we're in this cancel culture where you have to just change anything because of fucking Twitter outrage, and it's pathetic.
I can't agree more.
Yeah,
Because
it really is, and it's it really frustrates me because there was something that Miguel brought up earlier. Said, there are people who are genuinely upset, but then there are people who want to jump on the bandwagon and be upset because it's popular to be upset about something. They want to be seen as the people who were white knighting the event because they were there. And I also hate that. They just add fire to a flame that they have no skin in whatsoever. Um, I really do hope that Koshi sees this and he's just like, okay, it's done. It's like it's sweat, rolling off his back. I hope that's what this is, and he doesn't take this and this it like affects him and his work at all. I really hope not. Like you said, it's just a name. He literally he literally just got finished. He took away his fake name to give him a real name, which he could then deem another fake name if he wanted to. He
Yep.
really could. So
Technically,
it's
that's a, and what sucks is that one last thing I want to say is that people, the fan and everything, this is why a lot of actors, a lot of content creators, a lot of directors don't use social media for said reason. Because of this, is why a lot of people just be on social media and then get attacked for because of what something your fandom don't like, and then gets attacked, and like, you know what, this is just too much stress. I get hurt because, okay, you know what, this is hurting my feelings, this is hurting my mindset. I'm gonna start social media, and then that person is probably more peace of mind. Then hopefully this don't scare the creator of my hero to leave social media because of said reason, because he's just a person that wants to create my hero and just enjoy his content. That's all. And that's what people don't understand, that we're still humans at the end of the day.
I don't think we should use the name Jack anymore. It offends me. It makes me think of Jack the Ripper. He was never caught. He hurt a lot of people. I don't think we should use the name Jack anymore. And if you think that sounds really ignorant, petty, and stupid, that's because that's the exact same fucking thing as this. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's just a name. It is the intent that matters. This is stupid.
I mean,
I
it's
100%
one,
agree.
it's one of those things that with a name like this, it's the translations that also matter a lot. There are different. I know there are different ways that this name can be broken down in different dialects and in different forms. I saw so many different arguments about this. I'm like, everybody has a different argument. The only person who knows the true intent is Horikoshi. So it's like, okay.
And he's telling you verbatim that he didn't know this was not his intent. Like, let it go. Like, why do you think that he would be creating a story, and while he's creating a story, he's thinking about all of the events in human history?
And that was the first thing I brought up. It's like, how would he? I mean, like, I don't even think you could really Google that word, and that's what comes up immediately. Except for now, because of all the SEO it's been given. They taught me something. I had never ever heard of that term ever, and so it's like, oh, okay, well, I learned something, but still, it's like,
And
give
plus,
people a break. We don't know. People don't know everything. Every little
I was
thing.
about to,
It
I was about to
infuriates
say
me,
this.
dude.
I was about to say this right now. That most people that are complaining about this are probably people that slept through class in high school or college or middle school about this history class. That probably people don't even know about this, but for some reason they know about it in the past 48 hours because they did the search, or what I said earlier, they jump on the bandwagon. So that's what they did. They probably don't even know the full details of World War II. They probably don't know about the commanders, the people in Japan, of what happened, the whole nukes and everything. They probably don't know about that. But for some reason, the past 48 hours, they know about this name and what it did to Japan and all that.
Everyone's an
I would
expert
even
on
say they
it.
don't even research this.
Everybody on Twitter is an expert, man. What you talking about?
Exactly.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about? What do you mean that I'm not supposed to believe everything on the internet? Well, that's why the reason there's an internet. But yeah, for
So,
sure.
Horikoshi apologized in his own way. He took action. So I would like to say thank you, Horikoshi, for taking the action that you necessarily didn't have to take, but you did anyway. I
Yes.
appreciate that.
Yes.
Yep. From all of us in the Animatedly podcast, you're forgiven because there's nothing more you can do. Like
There is
this was-
nothing to forgive. He
There's
did
nothing
nothing
to even
wrong.
Exactly.
forgive either in
Thank
the first
you.
place.
There's nothing to forgive, Sam.
I can't
there
forgive
isn't,
you
yeah.
on behalf of anybody else. It's just that I can understand a misunderstanding and
Yeah.
not knowing what you don't know. Because trust me, I don't know shit. So, hey.
Mistakes like
100%.
this happen, and yet the internet goes over proportion, saying, "Oh my God, you make this mistake, we all have to hate you." It's just
But the next time one of your favorite content creators says the N word and y'all don't bat an eyelash, I'm coming to each y'all next.
each and
Alright.
every one of you.
That's
So
a
watch
fair
your
fact.
words, watch your steps, because it's happening. We're all keeping our eyes out.
Uh-huh.
Well, we'll blow all out proportions, and you're gonna be complaining, be like, "You guys are blowing out of proportion." No, we ain't.
I agree with one last thing I wanted to say with what James mentioned is the cancel culture is something that has hurt the community and hurt the culture itself within the past couple of years. And that's something that hopefully the internet, the culture, the community, and the society could get back on its feet, that they don't need to jump on the bandwagon. They could just also sit back, think before what we write, think before what we say, and understand that we're all humans, and what we're saying is that we're behind a phone, we're behind a screen, we're also texting another human being behind that phone, behind that screen. So
Exactly.
don't forget that.
The other thing is, dude, it's like, yes, I understand that it offends you. That doesn't mean that that person should be fired. It doesn't mean that whatever it is should be canceled because of how you feel. You're
Agreed.
allowed to have your emotions and your opinions. That doesn't mean that someone should lose their job because your feelings were hurt. Fuck
Right.
off.
Right. I'm not saying that you're wrong for being offended. You can be offended by whatever you want to be offended by. But don't try and take something away from somebody else because of the way you feel.
Agree?
Because like if Horikoshi was done because of this publicity stunt, everybody would be more like there'll be more fans that's gonna be angry at the people who got him canceled and all like the series gone because their feelings were hurt and the whole insensitive bullshit. People will lose more their job and more people will lose their like love for anime and manga and shit like that. So
Yeah.
we're not falling for that. We're just rational people that love what we do, content creating. Mistakes happens. We're all human. Like let us continue doing what we do. If we make a mistake, we'll do the appropriate actions that need to be done and we'll apologize our own way. How you would take it, it's up. How you would take this apology is how you take our words from it. It's up to you. We don't care afterwards, but for all we know, majority proportion sees that this is apology anyway.
Yep.
So whatever happens, at least we know this much. My Hero Academia gets even more popular because it's more trending in a way. So it just feeds the fandom.
I'm
True.
gonna read it anyway.
Same
Yep.
here. We
Me
support
too.
Higoroshi, and hopefully he's good, and hopefully James catch up as well whenever he has the 2 months break of vacation.
Yeah, I feel like the 2 months he will do everything else besides One Piece.
Definitely. But
You know what? Rewatch some no anime, no life kind of no anime, no life kind of stuff as well. I'm sorry, no
There's-
game, no life.
About to say
Wow.
there's an anime for the group now. About to say, hey James, when did he get the funding to make an anime of the group you made?
Moving up. Moving on up. All right.
I'm
Way to
like,
spoiler, Sam.
I'm
Wow.
about to say, James, this is a surprise. Why didn't you tell us you have the funding to make your own anime now?
Well, I was trying to keep it hush hush, but
I say he didn't want y'all to spoil it.
And
Well,
right here, the
I
team.
need to ask: are you hiring?
And I thought I was a spoiler guy, but Sam seems like he's the one that actually bring out spoilers, right?
Y'all flip flop tonight, so it's okay.
All right, guys, let's go on to our plugs. Ray, James.
James, hit us up. Tell us what you're going on.
yeah, you guys can follow me all over social media at C for Spoilers to find absolutely everything that we're doing, schedules, all of the podcasts on the C4S Podcast Network, everything that we're doing on social media. Find me on carefulforspoilers.com. We are going to be doing heist movies on the next episode of Best One, Worst One. We're going to be talking about the top 10 worst movies of the decade on the C4S podcast. We have a lot of things coming up new for you guys, so stay tuned for that.
I love heist movies. Like I said, I can't wait to hear you talk about The Italian Job. It's gonna be great. But you know me, I'm Rayapollo, Rayapollo, no space. I am still playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, still having a good time. I mean, the game is like not great all the time, but it's Dragon Ball, so I can't be too mad at it. You know what I'm saying? End of this month, it's time for all of your new favorite man who can do the thing. Oh, almost. I thought about that. Nope. He punches stuff real hard with one hand and it works. One Punch Man, One Justice coming out. Or not, it's not One Justice, but it's it's a fighting game.
That's my hero.
That one don't come out till March, and I'm sad about it. There's a lot of anime games coming out this year.
Yeah,
lot.
I'm very excited.
And we'll
You
be playing
confused
all
me
of
on
them.
which game is coming out because you said it One Punch Man.
There's
one
a lot.
I'm
There's
like,
a lot.
I'm like, you just put
And I'm
two
gonna
games
play
together.
all of them. I've spent too much money on anime games, so please come watch the stream. That's that.
Yes, support him and also support me giving him $20 next week when I give him another $20 to eat pancakes one more time.
Not ever
Well, he
again.
has to do that because if I give him the money, because he's a male entertainer
I'm
professional.
raising my prices. It's $35 minimum.
All right,
now.
so I'll be giving him $35 next week, guys. So watch him while he eat pancakes with double cheese with
Double
Swiss cheese though. Swiss cheese this time.
I'm not
So,
ruining good cheese. Nope.
Next recipe is trying that. But guys, follow me at Legend Vash everywhere, Twitter and IG, and Anime Lately _ Twitter and IG. Don't forget to support us on Patreon as well. Support us on our podcast by giving us those 5-star ratings and everything you guys could do. And thank you for listening to us either on the podcast side or the YouTube side where you're watching this beautiful, sexy video with 4 gentlemen here looking bright and beautiful to be looking like a model, right? Smile, guys. Yay. Other than that, Sam, take it away.
You guys can follow me at Sam the Mega Man and IG, Twitter, on Facebook. And for sure, guys, thank you guys for listening and watching. Have a good day. Peace.
Take care.